My name is Margie Remmers-Davis, and I am the founder and CEO of Acadian Accounting Education. You would think as a CEO I would have my act together, right? Isn't that what we all thought about CEOs when we were growing up, right? I know, I always thought that. Let me just tell you, we're people too. So anyway, I am delighted to be here with you today and for our weekly live stream, which we hold every Friday at 11 a.m. inside of our free Facebook group, the QBO Gym Locker Room. Let me just share my screen so you guys can see. So if you're watching this on YouTube, then come join us in the locker room, because then you get to be with us live, and you get to follow along, and you get free stuff, and you get to exercise with us and interact and all of that good stuff. So as I mentioned, this is being held live in our QBO Gym locker room, and which is your spot for hands-on practice using QuickBooks Online. That's all we do. We are all about hands-on practice, hands-on practice, hands-on practice. And as a member of the locker room, you get a free QBO QuickStart course, which will teach you how to set up your free QBO QBO accountant account. Teach you how it's different than a regular subscription that business owners purchase. Teaches you how to navigate terminology, workflows, and of course, hands-on practice, actually doing the thing. Darlene is asking about the drawings. So let me answer that in just a second while I finish my intro here. So you get a free QBO QuickStart course that was emailed to you. So if you're on this call live, or if you're watching the recording and you did not get I guess if you're on the call live, because if you're watching the recording, you only get it if you're in the locker room. So anyway, it was emailed to you. That's why when you join the locker room, we ask for your email address, is so that we can send you your free course and you can log in and have access to it and all of that good stuff. So if you can't find it, you don't know where it is, you need help, reach out to us, support@acadian.com. That's AKADIAN, and we'll help you find it. Also, we have over 100 free exercises that you can also practice and get up your skills in QuickBooks Online. The way you find them, guess what? They were emailed to you, but you can also find them inside the group in the featured section. So the featured section is right here. Now, who noticed that last week or earlier this week, I can't remember, we got our new website. And so this picture is not as pretty. I got to figure out how to fix that. And it still says fasteningqbo.com, but we are acadian.com now. So anyway, so we are going to get that. We're going to get that fixed. All right. We've got a lot of irons in the fire. We're going to talk about some of those irons today. Anyway, but this is where you get your free exercises. All right, and let's see. You also get a free exercise of the week, which is what we're going to share with you today. And the free exercise of the week is part of our paid subscription called the QBO Gym. Everything I've talked about so far, free. But the QBO Gym is a paid subscription product. I'm not even going to talk about it today. I spend a lot of time typically on these calls. On these calls doing like this big intro, and then we don't have much time for our actual exercise. So I'm actually going to skip that. So if you're new, then you can email support or you can watch last week's episode. You can go to YouTube or whatever and talk about all that, because we have got exciting stuff we have going on. So anyway, the exercise of the week is, it's part of our gym, but because you're in the locker room, you get it for free. So if you are a subscriber, if you're a subscriber, then make sure that you use the link that is in your course, and not the one that Joel is going to put in the chat, because that's the only way that you get credit for it. You don't get credit. The one in the chat, everybody's welcome. You're all welcome to. We love you. We love you. But if you want credit, if you want Booksmatch credit, then you have to do the one that's in the version that's inside your account. Okay. So, where did it go? Who asked about the drawings? Where did it go? Okay, Darlene. Yeah. So Darlene asked, let me just pull that up. Darlene said, speaking of free stuff, why isn't it showing up? Here we go. There we go. Yay. Speaking of free stuff, how do I sign up for the drawing? So we also do a drawing every month. And the way that you do it is, number one, you have to earn a badge. So the QBO Gym is all gamified. So there's bells and whistles and points and badges, woohoo, all that good stuff that happens while you're going through the QBO Gym. And so every month that you get through, that is not a calendar month. It's a month of content. All right. I realize now I can't talk about it without talking about it. Okay, so the QBO Gym is, let me take this off. All right, so the QBO Gym is an opportunity for you to practice being a bookkeeper in a lifelike simulated environment. Okay, so you get to be a bookkeeper for a fictitious business owner for an entire year. It doesn't take you a year to get through it. It takes about 42 real-time hours. There's every month takes about 3 to 4 hours to get through, which is realistic if you are going to be a bookkeeper for somebody. That's why so many people can be, freelance and have a bunch of clients at once. And so every month that you get through the QBO Gym, you earn a badge. And every month, anybody who has earned a badge has the opportunity to comment on a post and tell us what you learned in that month. Okay, so what you learned in that month of content, what were your ahas, what did you love? And so you have to do two things. You have to earn the badge, and then you also have to comment. And for every badge that you earned, so if you got through the whole year, you could get through the whole year in a month, you could, then you'd be entered in the drawing. You'd have the opportunity to be entered in the drawing 12 times. So, all right, so I think that is, he's giving us kudos on our new website. Thank you. I have not even spent any time on it at all because I'm not working on it. Because I'm working on other stuff that we'll talk about today. Okay, so speaking of free stuff, how do I sign up for the drawings? That's how. So the drawing is either the first or the second Friday of the month. For February 1st is Friday, so it won't be. No, that's January 30. That's January 31st. So yeah, so the first Friday in February will be the drawing. So we'll take a look at everybody who's gotten a badge in the month of January. Then January 1st, Caitlin she's our curriculum manager, she will post, here's all the people that got their badges this month, woohoo! And then that's where you have to leave your comment in order to be entered in the drawing. Okay. All right, let's see. And thank you, Lindsay, basically put that in the chat as well. Thanks for the kudos on the thing. Okay, so let's talk about today's exercise and what we're going to be working on. I had said 2 weeks ago that we were going to be doing niche training. We're still not doing niche training. And it's just because we have it all planned. We have it all ready to go, but we have too many irons in the fire. So we're going to kick it down. We're going to kick the can down the road. We are going to be talking about Shopify. So there's going to be a special episode. There's going to be a special live stream. I think it's the third Friday in February, where we're going to do our Shopify lesson. Okay, so I promise that. I hate not living up to my promises. Like, that is just, yeah, I hate it so much. I hate it so much. But finally, I was stressing out about this, and my team was like, Margie, we cannot do it this week. You have got to let it go. So I let it go. And we are focused. We are fully focused right now on the Bookkeeping Accelerator. So if you're new, let me tell you about the Accelerator. So the Accelerator, so the Bookkeeping Accelerator, it actually came out of, it was birthed from a conversation about the QBO Gym. So we created the QBO Gym, simulated experience being a bookkeeper. We decided, hey, accounting firms should use this QBO Gym to train their staff. And so we hired a salesperson, full-time salesperson, whose entire job was to call accounting firms and say, hey, would you like to use our QBO Gym for your people? And what they said to us was, well, what we really want to train our staff on is bookkeeping. Do you teach bookkeeping? And for all of these years, we were like, no, we only teach QBO. But after phone call after phone call after phone call with these CPAs, accounting firms, bookkeeping firms, we realized that what the world needed was a basic bookkeeping course. But basic, when I say basic, I mean that covers that is like an introduction to bookkeeping, but to get people up to speed quickly, but to know all of the ins and outs. And oh, sorry, Joel, that's not the wait list. Sorry, that was my mistake. And my foot is stuck on my desk in a weird way. So, okay, there we go. Release. All right. So anyway, so let me tell you about the accelerator. So the Bookkeeping Accelerator is designed to take somebody from zero knowledge of bookkeeping to having so much understanding of accounting, and that when you prepare the books, you can actually turn it over to it's going to go to the tax preparer, to the CPA, the accountant, the EA, whoever's going to take that information and prepare the taxes. So you're going to learn how to do the books in a way that makes you tax aware and makes you friendly to the people that are receiving the books. Like, that's the entire focus. So it's not just, I don't know if we have any of our beta testers on well, Lindsay is, in the chat, but like, we go deep. Like, this is not just a skim the surface, here's like your basic bookkeeping. Oh no. You go deep. But the thing is that we have perfected over the years a way to teach people quickly and easily. So you're actually using Oh, Sherry, yes. Sherry, thank you. She just sent me a message this morning that you said, what did you say? It was blowing your mind? I don't know. I immediately sent it to the marketing team because I was like, look at what Sherry said. Anyway, so it goes deep, but we have perfected the way that you can learn information, like heavy, complex information, in an easier way, like that flows, so that you're actually doing the thing. So you're not just reading about it or watching videos, but you're actually doing the thing. So anyway, so we finally announced this morning that we're going to be having our big launch party workshop coming up next Thursday. So Thursday, January 30th at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to be hosting this workshop with one of our CPAs to talk about how you can become, I think what they're calling it is indispensable to the CPAs, but really we want you to become the CPA's best friend. We want you to know you're not we're not teaching you how to do taxes. Like that's not the purpose of it. Like I remember when we first announced that we were going to do this, somebody said, not me, like I'm out. I didn't come here to learn taxes or something like that. That's not what we're doing. We're not teaching you taxes. We are teaching you to become tax aware, so that you can point out, so you can set up QBO and do your work in a way that captures exactly what the tax professionals need and how you can relieve their burden of doing all of the tedious, busy work, so that they can move quickly to their zone of genius and actually prepare the taxes, advise on the taxes, advise on the business. Okay. So yes. So Chris said, what we need to know to be really of value, like that's really the thing, is increasing your value. And if you've seen the ads, like the ads say things like unlock unlimited referrals. Well, this is not a referral program. Like we're not setting you up. We're not connecting you actually with CPAs. What we're doing is we're giving you the knowledge and skill so that when you start working with a CPA, they recognize that that you are like head and shoulders above everybody else, because like you get it. So when a business owner asks them, and they will, do you recommend a bookkeeper? Then they can say, yes, actually I work with so-and-so and they provide the books. It's like so beautiful. It makes my job so much easier. And by the way, the accountants charge more, like they charge more because the books are not set up in a good way for them to be able to work on the books. So they have to charge more to get the books in a way that they can that is actually useful to them. So it's actually going to save the client money, but working with the accountant because of this. Like it's such a beautiful synergistic thing that we're building here. Okay, so we announced today, Bookkeeping Accelerator. We have been building a wait list. There's over 6,000 people on the wait list right now for the Bookkeeping Accelerator. And we finally today announced that we're going to be having this workshop on January 30th. So Joel put in the chat, maybe you could put it in again, the workshop link. Previously it was a wait list. Now we're not building the wait list anymore. We're building the attendees for the workshop. So it's not going to be Zoom. It's like some other webinar. I don't know. Like I have a team of people that are working on this, and they're just going to tell me where to go, where to show up. So So I don't know exactly how it works. But anyway, so people are saying, let's see, you registered for the workshop, but they didn't get an email, and they were expecting that. So Lindsay, could you post in the Accelerator Slack that people are asking about that? Then we can get that addressed. I don't know. But anyway, so last week we did the exercise of the week was an exercise from the Accelerator. And this is going to be a monthly thing. Every month there will be, when we do our live stream, we'll be doing one of the Accelerator exercises. So, we were going to do, anyway, it was last week was supposed to be Shopify, and this week was going to be Accelerator because it's, a big launch and all that. And then we ended up doing Accelerator last week, and then this week was going to be Shopify, and then that would turned out to be so stressful, and I was like, okay, we're just going to do Accelerator again, which the timing actually works out perfectly, right? Okay, so let's do this thing. Because I have to get back to work, actually, on the Accelerator. There's a lot to do in the next 6 days. Alrighty, so here we are in the exercise of the week. I said this before, if you're a subscriber, if you pay for the gym, make sure that you use the exercise here and not the one that is in the chat. This one only unlocks after you have gained 250 points, because not everybody needs it. So you can see how many points you have if you click this little button. I'm an admin, so I don't have any points. But here you can go, not in the exercise of the week, but in the regular gym, you can see how many points you've accumulated. And then when you get to 250, the exercise of the week will unlock. And then you can do that there. Okay. All right, let's do it. Today we are going to be talking about COGS, which is, I should test you guys on this stuff. But the problem is when I test you on this stuff, there's just such a delay. I have to wait until the chat shows up to see if you guys know what is COGS. So maybe I'll just tell you. It is cost of goods sold. Okay. So let's go to the sample company. Yes, Lynette got it. Cost of goods. Cost of goods sold. Good job, Sherry. Good job, Lynette. Jan. All right, you all got it. Good job. All right, so you can, this does not require an accountant account. So you can click the link to open the sample company. Or you can type in, Cynthia's got it too, Uyi, good job. Or you can type in we set up these quick links, acadian.com/QBOA will load the accountant version of the sample company. This exercise does not require the accountant version. So, all right. So we are going to go to loading the sample company so we can see. Now, this exercise, at the point of this exercise, everyone has already, you've learned a lot. So we are not going to, in a sense, when we do this exercise now, I can't back up too much. But I am going to back up a little bit and talk about the cost of goods sold, just as a general concept. So Lynette says, I want to specialize in inventory with manufacturing. All right. Well, you might want to look into Fishbowl. I don't typically recommend apps, but Hector Garcia is a huge Fishbowl fan. And as I was putting together this exercise, it just kept coming up and coming up. So I don't know anything about it. I've never used it, but it is, it's important. Okay, so let's talk about just cost of goods sold as a concept. I'm gonna take this off. Okay, so in a business, there are costs associated with the thing that you sell, and then there are costs associated just with running the business. Okay, so in the course, actually, I used the no, I don't want to use that example. It doesn't apply here. Sorry. I've got so much going through my brain, guys. Okay, so the cost of running a business. So I have like admin staff, I have a copy machine, I have a coffee maker, for like I have those kinds of things, advertising that are just, those are called general operating expenses or OPEX. So those are general expenses. And then you have costs that are associated specifically with the thing that you sell. So if you are selling t-shirts, here's the example I use in the course. If you sell soup, okay, so maybe you buy a can of soup at a low price, and then you sell it to somebody else at a higher price. Okay, so the cost of the goods is the cost that you paid to buy that soup. Now it's going to go, and you're going to charge higher, right, to sell it. Well, what if you make soup? If you make soup, then you have all the ingredients to make the soup, and you have all the ingredients to buy the soup. You've got the equipment to buy the soup. To make the soup. You've got the people to make the soup. Like, you've got all these costs associated with the soup that you sell. Okay. Those are the cost of goods sold. Okay. Now let's go back to the sample company for a second. Cost of goods sold is shows up on the profit and loss. So let's really quickly, this exercise is just the foundation knowledge you have to know before we do the exercise. Okay, so if I go to the profit and loss, and I'm going to have to customize it so that I see all dates, and I'm going to show even if they don't have any transactions. So I'm going to hit run report. Okay, and I want you to notice how the profit and loss is set up. Oh, I guess there we go. Okay. So on a profit and loss, you have income at the top. Then you have cost of goods sold, and then that calculates your gross profit. After that, you have expenses. These expenses are the general operating expenses of the business. Notice they're below the line, okay? So cost of goods sold is up here with income because it's used to calculate the gross profit. And then the general expenses come out of that, okay? Now, I want you to also notice that Craig has one account in the chart of accounts called cost of goods sold. Okay? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, let's discuss. Before we do, however, I want to show you one more thing. And that is that this line up here, cost of goods sold and income and expenses, the very first line is called an account type. So when you create a new account in your chart of accounts, you have to specify the account type. And the account type determines how it shows up on the reports. Okay? So in the profit and loss, income, accounts with income as the account type show up first. Accounts with cost of goods sold as the account type show up next, then expenses, etc. So what does that mean? That means that cost of goods sold is an account type, and he has it set up also as an account name. So this is the account name, this is the account type. Same with like all of these. So here's the expenses is the type, advertising is the name. Now, cost of goods sold is something that has to be reported on your taxes. If you are a sole proprietor, and we cover all this in the course, if you're a sole proprietor, you're going to be filing, or if your business owner is a sole proprietor, they're going to be filing the Schedule C. So you can actually pull up any tax form you want by going to irs.gov. And we're going to do Schedule C. Okay, so I type Schedule C. There is always at least two links. One to the schedule itself, and the other to the instructions about that schedule or about that form. Okay, so here's, notice it says about. This one says instructions. This is the one that's actually the form. Okay, so let's pull it up. Chances are good, by the way, that you need to file this very form for your bookkeeping business. So you should know this form. All right. So the form, let me see if I can make it even bigger for you guys. There we go. Okay. So the form has these different parts. Okay. And notice here we have cost of goods sold from line 42, okay, is where you put that. And then line 42 is in part 3, okay, where it says cost of goods sold. And look, you have to be able to say purchases, so the stuff that you bought, it says less items withdrawn for personal use because this is sole proprietor. And then cost of labor, so this is the people that you paid to chop the vegetables for the soup. You have to be able to track the cost of their labor. In Craig's case, we're talking about, he's a landscaper, so the people that actually did the landscaping, we need to track their cost here. Materials and supplies, these are the things. Oh, I should say purchases, the difference between purchases and material supplies. Purchases are the things that you buy, that you sell, that you buy them finished and you sell them. So if it's the soup example, if you buy a can of soup and just mark it up and sell it, that's a purchase. If you're making the soup, that's materials and supplies. Materials and supplies are, like the chopping of the vegetables and like that kind of stuff. And then there are other costs. So you actually have, and these are, other costs are indirect costs. So for example, if you have to store food in a, let's say that you have to, well, actually a better example is like, we're going to keep with the soup. If you are making this soup in a commercial kitchen that you rent, which is a thing, then the rent of that commercial kitchen, that's going to be an other cost. Okay. All right, so those are indirect costs. They're not the actual soup, but they're the other stuff, okay? So if you are a sole proprietor and you have goods that you sell, you have to keep track of at least these 4 things, okay? Purchases, the stuff that you have that are finished, the labor, the materials and supplies, and then the other or indirect costs, okay? Other business entities is something similar. I'll answer that in 1 sec, Chris. So it's something, I forgot, lost my train of thought. Other entities, it's very similar. There are not a lot of differences in the course we do a deep dive into the different entities and how you have to do things differently. But cost of goods sold, there's not much difference between them. The differences that are there are so extensive, that's why you need to have like some kind of external software. Uwe says, it's amazing that the Schedule C settles the argument of what constitutes COGS. Yes. Okay. All right. So now, Chris had a question. She says, for COGS for a service-based business, the costs would be the labor cost to provide the service. Is that right? So yes, if the person is doing the work for the client, okay? So for example, and you can split a person's costs, sometime they're spending on admin stuff and sometime they're actually spending doing the work, okay? So in the case of Craig, his laborers, the people that are, actually like digging the holes and mowing the lawn and all that stuff, there is no business like without those people. But if he has an in-house bookkeeper, that's not going to be cost of labor. That's going to be OPEX. That's going to be general office expenses. Okay. Lynette says, would other costs include any overhead directly related to the product? Yes. Uwe says, like subcontracting costs should be a cost of labor if the subcontractor is delivering the product. I mean, you could have a subcontractor that comes in and like does stuff in the office, and then it wouldn't be. So if they are actually producing the thing that is being sold, then yes, it should be a cost of goods sold. Okay? And if we go back to Craig here, looking at his profit and loss, he's only got one category there, and it's not being tracked very well. He also has, if you look at this closely, he has this category, this expense category called job expenses. So it seems like he's been using this account to actually track cost of goods sold. Because look, he's got an account for cost of labor, and he's got an account for job materials. That sounds like materials and supplies, right? And then he's also got permits, which sounds like indirect costs, right? So what could you do about this? Well, you can rearrange the chart of accounts. Now, you want to, when you first start working with a company, if you always want to reach out to their accountant first, like you always want to reach out, introduce yourself, say, hey, hey, I'm going to be working on the books. My job is to make your life easier. So anything that I can do, I'd like to start by rearranging the chart of accounts. Does that work for you? Now, some accountants, we have a whole lesson in the accelerator about working with accountants. Some accountants are not going to care at all. Some accountants are not involved in the client's business. They just get the records once a year, plug in the numbers, move on with their lives. Like some of them are highly involved with the client's business and are, invested in their growth and giving them advice and setting things up so that they can save on taxes. Some of them are super technical and know QBO inside and out, in which case maybe they have like it set up in a particular way. Others you'll find aren't going to know QBO at all. So, we have students at Acadian who are like 20, 30 year CPAs, and it has always shocked me since the beginning of this company. It's always shocked me that so many CPAs take my course, because like in the beginning I was like, well, don't you know everything already? And then I realized, yes, but they don't know the software. So it's highly likely, there's a good chance you're going to know more about the software than they do. And so that could happen too. All right. So Uyi says, not good to have one category. It will be ideal to break it down like the Schedule C. Yes, and we can move all of this stuff so that it shows up appropriately on the report. And that's what the exercise today is, okay? So our assignment is Craig is currently using an expenses account called Job Materials to track the costs of his services. Adjust Craig's chart of account, COA, to ensure his COGS categories are set up correctly to capture what is needed for tax purposes. So we've got to break that stuff out. Okay. Now, we are going to go, we're going to use account numbers. Now, like this is, as I said, like this is later in the course, guys. So in the course, you will like already know about account numbers, you know, like, and I'm not going to teach that whole course on today's call, but we're going to be using account numbers. Hopefully, if it works, it doesn't always work in the sample company. So we're going to use these account numbers, 520 for purchases. Let me just write this down. For purchases, 530 for cost of labor, 540 for materials and supplies, and 550 for indirect costs. Okay. I have a note here about those that are using the 1125A for reporting. We're not going to talk about that today. So we're going to start working through the exercise. Now, we do all of our exercises in a software called Scribe. And Scribe has a Google Chrome extension that you can load. So if you go to the Google Chrome store and load this Scribe AI documentation, SOPs and screenshots, if you load that, then it looks like this if you pin it. Then if you have that loaded, that any of our exercises, which is right here, will have a little guide me button. Now that little guide me button is only on the white ones. Okay, so these are green and these are red. Okay. The white one will have a little button at the top. So you click guide me. And if I have the sample company open, I'm going to click confirm. Magic happens. Magic happens. So then you have the exercise on the right and the sample company on the left. I'm going to make that a little bit smaller for you. And you can adjust the size of this so you can see more. Okay. All right. So let's get to it. All right. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is turn on account numbers. I'm going to click the gear icon, go to account and settings. Again, at this point in the course, you already know about account numbers and how they work and why you would use them or not use them. All right, so I'm going to go to advanced. And I'm going to click enable account numbers. Now, the sample company is finicky, just so you know, and it doesn't always work to turn on account numbers. I'm crossing my fingers that it's going to work for me right now. But if while we're walking through this, it's not working for you, if you get an error message or no error message, it just doesn't work, then I don't know what to tell you. Sometimes it happens. Sherry says, after doing the exercise yesterday in beta, yeah, Sherry's on our beta team, using account numbers, I wondered if it's something I should change in my clients' books. I haven't used them up to this point. So that's a really good question. So we have, at Acadian, we have a tax advisory council. And there's a couple dozen CPAs, EAs in our advisory council. And I asked them when I got to account numbers, I asked them, like, is this a thing that you really like to see? Should I include it? Do you want the bookkeepers to do it? And the answer was overwhelmingly yes. They love having account numbers. So, but you don't have to have account numbers for every single account. You can just have it at the top level, or like even the sub account after that. Anyway, I don't want to get into the weeds too much because, it's all in the course, guys. It's all in the course. Okay. So I'm going to click save, and then I'm going to click done. What I found is that the majority of the time, if I am not in the chart of accounts when I turn on account numbers, it works. If I'm in the chart of accounts and I attempt to turn on account numbers, that's when it does not work. So that's why I specifically did not load the chart of accounts yet, and we'll see. Crossing fingers. Okay, so now let's load the chart of accounts. There's a couple of ways to get there. The instructions say to use the gear icon. You could also do transactions, takes you to the same place. And no account numbers. See, I suspected that it would not show up precisely because I'm going live. Because if something's going to go wrong, it's going to happen when I'm doing a live stream. So anyway, so now so what should happen, and you saw it there for a split second, is the account numbers should be right here on the left. Let me just refresh my screen. Nope. I'm just going to go back to a different screen. Go back to chart of accounts. And what happens is, let me just edit an account, see if it's there. It's usually not. Okay. So, and if I go back to accountant settings and go to advanced, you'll see it says that it's on, even though it's not. So I'm going to save it again. Click done. Still no account numbers. I don't know if you guys got it to work on yours. Ellen says it didn't show up, but Uwe says it did show up. Lindsay says it hasn't been working during beta testing. It sucks because it's such an important part. Okay, here's what I'm going to try. Is I'm going to go to accountant settings, advanced. I'm going to turn it off, save, and then done. And I'm going to go back to chart of accounts. Do you see that? Do you see that? I just turned it off. I just turned it off, guys. Oh my gosh. All right, well, now it's on, so we can get on with the exercise. All right. So, when you are making changes to the chart of accounts, it's always a good idea to print out a copy first, so that you can keep track of what you're doing. I am a paper girl. I love paper. And so I print mine out and I make notes and like actually physically write because that's the way I roll. So yeah, I recommend that because if the I keep losing my train of thought. The chart of accounts can get really long and hairy. It can get really, really like long. You only have like 250 accounts that you can set up, but yeah, so it's easy to get lost and kind of like forget where you are. And you have to like keep running reports to see what it looks like, and and all that. But anyway, all right, so here we go. So on the purchases errors row, we are going to change this. Okay, remember what we saw on the tax form. Do I still have this up? Yeah. Okay, so the purchases, those are the finished goods. Okay, now Craig does already have an account called purchases, so we can just put it under cost of goods sold. If I can just find it. Here it is, purchases. It's set up. This is the account type. This is the detail type. So I'm going to edit this. And I can put in the account number. Another weird thing that happens is that sometimes it will not be available for you to put the account number here. It will only be available for you to put actually in the chart of accounts. It's just wonky. And I don't use it in real life, so I don't know if it's as wonky in real life or like if it's just the sample company. But anyway, so we're going to say that purchases is $520, and we're going to change the account type to cost of goods sold because that's how we want it to appear on the report. When I do that though, watch what happens. Boom, error message. It says changing the type or detail type in an account may affect your accounting and reporting. Are you sure you want to do this? Okay, so when you're making these types of changes, this is why it's important to have that relationship with the accountant or tax preparer or whatever, if they want a relationship, okay, if they're open to a relationship. They don't always, but it's important to have that relationship. If they've already used these numbers, if they are plugged into some kind of accounting software, you just want to make sure that what you do is not messing them up, okay? So we're just going to assume that we've already had that conversation. We're going to say yes. We're going to change the detail type to supplies and materials, and then we're going to click save. Okay. All right, so next we have our cost of labor, okay, which we said is should be under COGS, not under job expenses, okay? So let's try and make this change. So I'm going to go to edit, and I'm going to put in 5030. I'm going to change it to cost of goods sold. Same message, I get yes. And then, I guess I click save and then I get the error message. Nope. I don't want this to be a sub-account. Right now it's a sub-account of job expenses, right? I don't want it to be a sub-account of cost of goods sold because I need a category cost of goods sold. I don't need an individual account that's called cost of goods sold, okay? So I'm going to uncheck that. I need to edit this exercise. Lindsay, would you make a note to remind me to edit this exercise so that it says to uncheck, make this a sub-account? And then, anyway, so then we click save, and now we're going to get a different error message. Okay. So right here, notice it says you cannot change the type of an account with sub-accounts. If we look over here, can you see? My head's a little bit in the way. You can see that, so cost of labor is an account that is underneath job expenses, okay? But it itself also has sub-accounts. So what the error message is saying is that you can't change the type of an account with sub-accounts, okay? Because the sub-accounts have to have the same type, all right? So what that means is that we have to do a lot more work, okay? We're gonna have to go into every one of these accounts, take them off sub-accounts and then rearrange everything, change all of the account types, and put it all back together, okay? I don't know if we're going to have time to do all of that on the call today, but you'll see. Let's just do this for cost of labor, okay? So that's, here we are. So we're clicking cancel. Okay, so we're going to work on the 2 sub-accounts of cost of labor first, installation and maintenance and repairs. So here we go. Notice he also has income account called labor. That's a whole different lesson. Okay, so we're going to go to job expenses. So here we are. We're going to make this one not a sub-account. So we're going to go to edit. We're going to change it to cost of goods sold. Click yes. Okay, we're going to make this, so uncheck that. So this one does have the uncheck that on it. Then we're going to do the same thing to, wait, did I change? I didn't change that to, it looks like I forgot to change it to cost of goods sold. No. Oh, I know what happened. Okay. It's in a different place now on the report because I did change it to cost of goods sold. I got confused. Okay. So maintenance and repairs. Click the down arrow. Click edit. Where are we on this? Maintenance and repairs. Click the down arrow, then click edit. Okay, we're changing the account type to cost of goods sold. Click yes. Click the checkbox. Click save. Okay, now those are no longer sub-accounts of cost of labor. So I'm going to, now I can change cost of labor. Edit. Account number is 5030. Account type, cost of goods sold. Yes, we know. Uncheck that. Then click save. Oops. Oh, now we've got to go back. We're going to go back up to here. Okay. So right now they're the same account type, but they're not under cost of labor. So now we need to make them sub-accounts. So now I'm going to edit it. And we're going to make this a sub-account. And here's another weird thing that happens is that even though we put numbers, if the numbers don't show up here, so but that's okay. It's still there. I can type it and look, it'll show up. And then hit save. And then hit edit. So now I'm doing maintenance and repairs. And I'm going to make this a sub-account. And the sub-account is not there for some reason, but if I type it, there it is. Okay. And then I hit save. Okay. All right, so I'm not going to go through every single one of these on the call today because I've got to get back to work on the course. But you have the exercise now. You can go through it. And I just wanted to show you one more thing. So you're going to adjust all of these accounts. And then at the end, boom, 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 there's so many. Okay. You can adjust all of these, and then at the end, we're going to look at our handiwork. Okay, so we're going to go to the profit and loss. I'm just opening and closing this left drawer because it gives more space while I'm demonstrating. And then I go to reports, go to the profit and loss. All right, I think I'm gonna close this. Yep, I'm gonna close this so I have more real estate. I need some more real estate. Okay, I'm gonna customize all dates. Show all of them, even if they don't have any transactions. And then look what happened. So now we have cost of labor up here under cost of goods sold like it's supposed to. It's not a sub-account of this account right here, okay? It is a sub-account of this. It's not a sub-account. It's an account with this account type, okay? All right. Oh, I made it too late. Darn it. Okay. All right. So now that you have learned about, and you now have the exercise, those of you who are here live, you have the exercise, so you can go and do this on your own. Or next week, you can join us for our launch call. It's a 10 tips to make you indispensable to CPAs. And we're going to go, Andrew and I are going to go over all these 10 things, which are, and you know, there's, guys, you know how it all works, right? You show up, and even if you decide that you don't want to get the course, you get all this free stuff, right? Just for showing up. So I can't remember what that is, but I don't know. It's on the page, or it'll be emailed to you. Like, this is not your first rodeo. You guys know how these things work. But I wanted to show you one other thing. So as part of the exercise of the week, we provide a marketing prompt, okay? And this was born out of the reason that we have these marketing prompts. I'm going to take off my screen share for just a second so I'm not so tiny. So the reason we have these marketing prompts is because for so long, I just kept hearing people say, I know I'm supposed to post on social media, but I don't know what to say. And I was like, but you're learning things in QBO all the time. Like, why? How do you not know what to say? So I decided that I would create these marketing prompts, and we call them QBO tips that you can post on social media. When you are a subscribed member of the gym, you actually earn the marketing prompt. So as you learn a new skill, then at the end you get half a dozen or so. It depends. I don't know. There's a couple where you get anyway. You earn these marketing prompts based on like what you just learned. But for the exercise of the week, we give them to you just for showing up here on the call. So here is today's marketing prompt that goes with the skill that you just learned. Okay, and Joel already put it in the chat so that you can access it. Okay. Or so that you can copy and paste, okay? If you're not subscribed to the gym, which is fine, okay? So today you learned about COGS. Here's a sample post. QBO Quick Tip. Of course you're tracking expenses, but are you tracking your cost of goods sold separately from your general operating expenses in QuickBooks Online? This is important not only for tax purposes, but to help you really see how much profit you're making. It is a bit tricky, but I can show you how. And if you don't want to do it yourself, of course, I'm happy to help. Just let me know. All right. So that is the marketing prompt. Now we're not a marketing company. I don't know that we're ever going to be a marketing company. We are an accounting education company, but we know that you have so much that you would like help with. So we provide not only the marketing prompt. Joel's going to put in the chat a YouTube video where I discuss the 3-2-1 method, which is how how to use the marketing prompt in your marketing. And if you would like even more help, then you can, and if you would like even more help, accountability, if you would like to join with a group of people who are all marketing their businesses or learning how to market their businesses at the same time, if you need help setting up we recommend LinkedIn, but if you need help setting up LinkedIn, if you want to learn how to set up Calendly, set up Canva so that you can create a branded, we'll teach you how to do a logo for your business and how to create these QBO quick tips that you can post on and in a group setting, be accountable to like actually doing the thing and actually posting on social media, and how to turn these people, like how to find, we brainstorm with you how to, like who to reach out to on LinkedIn, what exactly to say. There's mindset lessons. You work to come out of your comfort zone. Like it's such an amazing program that we started called the Getting Clients Cohort. And Lindsay, who's on the call today, she manages that program. She's with you the whole time, encouraging you, answering questions. And we actually guarantee that you will land a client conversation by the end of the month or your money back. So Joel, we're filling up for the February session. Don't wait until February 1st to join, because there's stuff that you have to do. Like you have to go through the training so that you're ready to go on February 1st to actually, like start marketing your business and getting out there. Rosalba says, I beg you to be a marketing company so you can sell the whole package to us. Oh, that's very sweet. So, anyway, so what was I saying? Oh, anyway, so Getting Clients Cohort, February's filling up now. And then we also have this program that we haven't been talking about too much, and we need to get better because everyone who's in it says it's like the most valuable thing that they have participated in. And yet we don't talk about it too much, and that is focus hours. So we used to have, as part of the Getting Clients Cohort, these set aside times where you can dedicate yourself with a group. It's a group accountability. You show up and then you work on your own stuff for an hour. You check in, you say, hey, I'm here. This is my plan. This is what I'm going to work on. And then you all turn off your camera, like you get to work, and then you come back in and say, okay, woohoo, I did it. I accomplished, whatever. And people just love it so, so, so much. We did not get our act together. So it used to be part of the Getting Clients Cohort. Then we decided we wanted to open it up to everybody because it was so valuable and people loved it so much that we decided, well, we're going to separate it out and, so people can buy it separately. They don't have to be in the Getting Clients Cohort. And what's great about that is that you can use that time to work on your work on your courses. If you're getting the level 1, level 2 certification. Oh, I got an announcement about the certifications. If you're working on your certifications, if you are working on the gym, if you are working on the cleanup course, whatever you're working on, if you're working on client work, if you are working on your marketing, whatever you need to work on, there is so much synergy to just meet with a group of people and just get stuff done. Just get stuff done. So the focus hours, it used to be included. Now it's separate. We never got our act together to actually start charging people for it in January. So in January, right now, still through next week, you can participate for free. Lindsay posts about it in the locker room. In fact, there is a featured post right here that says focus hours. So it tells you can go in there, you can see when the time is, you can show up, etc. Uyi says, I love focus hours. Sherry says, I love it too. So anyway, so we are, so we never got our act together, but we're getting our act together, and it's going to be like $30 a month. It's going to be $30 a month. You get 10 sessions every week that you could participate in. So over the course of the month, that's like 40 sessions that you could participate in. So that's like, if you participated in all of that, it'd be like less than $1 a session for accountability, camaraderie, encouragement, like all of that stuff. So so we are going to be starting that in February. And the reason is because it's going to be in conjunction with the accelerator also, because people who join the accelerator will want to set time aside to be able to doing it. Lynette says, I've gotten a lot done in the gym doing it this month. So yeah. So anyway, so lots and lots going on. Certifications, two important announcements. One is, you may have heard that Intuit changed the certification yet again. They changed the training and test and everything this week. It was on the 22nd where they announced they were going to change it all up. We've been a little busy with the accelerator, so we have not yet been able to like really dive in and see how it's different. In preparation for today's call, I did pop on and just click around to see. We were expecting, so in the level 2 course, in the level 2 course, one of the things that you have to know is tags, but QBO is discontinuing tags in March. So we thought, oh, maybe they're going to take that off the test. Maybe that's like the only thing that they're changing, is they're going to take that off the test. And I looked this morning and tags is still there. So I don't know what other changes they've made, but I have a team member who today is going to start digging into that a little bit and see to try and figure out like what's different. And we will get on that. Lynette says, Intuit loves change. I know, right? Internally, we call it chasing the dragon, because, in order to keep up and be able to teach our courses, then, we have to keep on top of what they're doing. And we don't work for Intuit. We don't have any inside knowledge. So, like, we're never told when these things are going to happen before you are. Like, we know right when you are. So anyway, so we'll see what the huge differences are and all of that. Then related to that is we had hoped to have payroll finished by February 1st. But with the accelerator happening, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So those of you who are waiting for payroll, I'm so sorry. It kills me. Like I said at the beginning of the call, like not being able to live up to my promises, like kills me inside. And I hate it. I hate it so much. I am a person of my word. If I say I'm going to do something, by gum, I'm going to do it. So, but anyway, so that will be delayed. I can't imagine that it will be longer than February 15th. So watch out for that. And then with that, I think that's it. Greg says, could it be that Intuit is just messing with the ability to provide better courses than theirs? I don't know. I have said for a long time that, people have said to me, Intuit should buy you or Intuit should hire you. Well, first of all, they have said Intuit should hire you. And they can't afford me. I mean, they could afford me, but they're not going to pay what I'm worth. Okay. So that's one thing. And the other thing is, I don't think they're interested in being a training company. I really don't. I think that they are interested in being a software company. And so they just provide, Alicia Katz-Pollock has used the term a mini economy. which I think is really good. And one of the mini economies is to have, all of us out there teaching QBO. I'm not the only one that teaches QBO. And there's a lot of people that teach it. And there will always be people, we will always need people to teach software. And the fact that the software is always changing keeps us in business. So anyway, all right, let's see. Cindy says, I do not understand where I go eventually when it's time to retest for my certifications. So there is I don't know, Lindsay or Joel maybe could put it in the chat. Oh, I know. Let's together go on my new website. Okay. So recertification happens in the spring. Look at my new beautiful website, guys. It happens in the spring, usually around April 1st, not a joke, but it has been as late as May 1st. They will release the recertification training. The recertification training is only for people who got certified in the previous season, which ends October 31st. So if you got certified prior to November 1st of 2024, then you have to recertify. If you recertified in the new, actually I said November 1st. They actually released it October 18th this year, weirdly. So if you got certified under the new ProAdvisor Academy, with the new structure, you won't have to recertify until 2026. If you initially got certified under the old system, then you will recertify in the spring. And we have a document that describes all how to do this. So you go to our website, go to who we are, and then, I don't know, we need to reorganize this, but I think it's under resources right here. Everything you ever wanted to know about QBO ProAdvisor recertification. So here's all the answers. There's all the answers. Okay. All right. Let's see. I need to figure out my cursor. Okay, let's see. Thanks so much, Margie. You're such a great... Aw, that's so nice. I'm going to put it on the screen. That's so nice. You're such a good teacher. I learn new things every week. Looking forward to the workshop on Thursday. Yay! Waiting to hear about the confirmation. Not everyone does it well like you do. Aw, guys, you're making me blush. All right. I like the idea of a mini economy, and I'm grateful for Intuit because of that. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty amazing. Like, I think it's, I don't know how old you guys are, but, I'm old. I'm not a spring chicken. And it's been fascinating to me to see, like, the things that have emerged in my lifetime. Like, the internet emerged in my lifetime. Like, there was a time when Google did not exist in my lifetime. I remember, email started with universities. And I remember I had a friend who went to a different school than me, and she went to Yale, and she was telling me about this thing they had at Yale called email and how great it was. When I was working for the medical software company, which I've told you guys about, I was on the beta tester team when we introduced email into the company. So, like, I am older than some of these things. It just is amazing to me. And I'm older than Amazon. I remember when Amazon I remember when they had the radio commercials for Amazon, when it was they were just sold books, and they were talking about how this amazing bookstore, any book you could possibly imagine, you could get on this thing called Amazon. And I remember, I've told this story before. I remember when I was in high school, AT&T had Tom Selleck do these radio commercials for AT&T. They were on TV too, but he didn't want to show his face for whatever reason. He had this contract where he just wanted to do the voiceovers, and so for a long time he was like the voice of AT&T. And I remember driving in my neighborhood one time and hearing this commercial. Tom Selleck said, he was talking about telephones, and he said, connecting you to people, not places. And I remember thinking, what? How could they do that? Like, what? We're all going to like walk around with phones in our pockets, and there's going to be like a million wires, connecting to everything. So like, it's just amazing. Yes, Brenda says back when the internet was dial-up, some of us can still hear that sound in our dreams of dial-up internet. Okay, Cindy says, you're not being clear with your question. Sorry, I got distracted. Tell me your question again. She might be typing it in the chat so that I know. So you were not talking about recertification? So let me go back let me pull up your question again. I do not understand where I go eventually when it's time to retest for my certifications with regard to the Acadian training. Is that the Booksmatch level 1, and is it okay? All right, so let me try again. So you weren't talking about recertification. So as far as the Acadian training, if you purchased level 1 and level 2, you always get the updated version of level 1, level 2. That's just a given. You always get the updates. However, the recertification training that they do in the spring is not the same course. The recertification training is just a small version. It just covers what you need to know between the last time you certified and now, or like what they want you to know now. So it's just a sliver. It's a small course. It's not the same. You purchase it. If you want our help, you don't need our help. You can just go in and take it. But if you want our help, if you like our style, the videos, the interactive exercises, the quizzes, and you want our help, then there's an additional charge for that. It's an annual subscription that you have the option to purchase. You had the option when you bought the certification, the level 1, level 2, if you had them, you had the option to add it on. But you could choose not to add it on, in which case you just get it. I mean, just buy it. I mean, you know how it goes, guys. It's like, if you buy it now, it's cheaper, but if you buy it, wait, then it's a little more expensive. That's how it goes. All right, hopefully Cindy, did that help? All right. This is great. Lynette says, my kids have asked, how did you look up things without Google? I said you asked another human being like your parents. And if they didn't know, you were fine with that. Ignorance was bliss. So we had Encyclopedia Britannica at my house. And if I asked a question and my dad did not know the answer to it, he would go pull out the encyclopedia. And I'd be like, it's not that important. And now Joel will tell you, like, I cannot stand to not know anything. So anytime somebody talks about something I don't know, out comes my phone and I Google it or use Wikipedia or whatever. When we watch movies, I'm on IMDb the whole time so I can see, who's that person and what were they in before and how do I know? Okay. All right. Cindy says it helped. Excellent. Sherry says, do you buy it on your website? I think you're talking about the recertification. Yes, you would buy it, but I don't know that it's not for sale right now because it's not recertification season. So I don't know. I don't even know if they have the website up. So, all right, guys, let's call it a day. I got to get back to work on the accelerator. I am excited to see you on Thursday. It's at nighttime. It's at nighttime because apparently statistics show that people show up better at night because I guess a lot of people have to go to work during the day and stuff. So anyway, Lynette says she had to go to her friend's house for the encyclopedia because it was too rich for our blood. Yeah, it was an investment. It was an investment. All right, Rosalba says, all right, Rosalba, if sounds like you're having issues with gym year 2, please write into support@acadian.com, AKADIAN, or inside the course you can click the little need help button, and then the people can get back to you. I can't address support things on this call. Okay. Claire says the 30th is her birthday. Woohoo! I hope I remember, Claire. I will look for you and I will wish you happy birthday. I don't know how it's good. 6,000 people are on the waiting list, guys. It's more than 6,000 people are on the waiting list. Of the waiting list, I don't know how many people are actually going to show up, but my guess is over 1,000. So, I think something like 20% actually show up to things that they say, because not everyone is like me. Like if I say I'm going to do something, I do it, but a lot of people are not like me and they sign up and then don't show up, which, everyone's different. But the point is what? The point is that I don't know how many people are going to show up. So, but my guess is that it will be over 1,000, and hopefully, Claire, among the 1,000, I will see your name and I will remember. I'll remember specifically because it's just CLARE, and I will hopefully wish you a happy birthday. Okay, all right. Let's see. All right, Brittany says, are you able to have that many people on one live session? Yeah, I guess I have tech people that are figuring it out. It's not Zoom. It's not Zoom. It's like Webinar Jam or something. I don't know how these things work. You get to a point, guys, where you have people that do stuff for you. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. Okay. All right. Well, that's it. You guys have a great weekend. Will there be a recording of Thursday Live? Yes, of course there's going to be a recording. Yes, there'll be a recording, but you know how it's going to work. You know how it's going to work. If you're there live, you're going to get a super special deal of something discount or extra bonuses or whatever, some kind of special deal if you're there live. And if you watch the recording, you don't get it. And yeah, Lisa says we're conditioned to sign up for things with the idea that replays will be made available. And then the other thing about replays is you can't ask questions on a replay. So anyway, okay, guys, seriously, I have to get back to work. So you guys have a wonderful weekend. I will see you on Thursday. It's coming up so fast. Gosh, it's so fast. And I can't wait to hear your success story. Bye-bye.